What are you?
I am a little feather, and I am from a world called Rymadoon. Emily is a prisoner of Dago the Dreaded, and if you come with me now, you can save her. The portal is closing.
Portal?
Yes, the gateway between my world and yours.
What you bring? Is it a kind of eating?
No!
Feed him to Firemouth.
This one comes too close to me, he'll get a knife in his gut.
She's not coming with us, is she?
I can draw a magical picture. My word.
What else can you make?
Anything I can draw. And you really think you have the power to stop Dago? I hope so.
There are caves that will lead us right under the mountains.
Great. More caves. Nobody who goes in the Misty Mountain caves ever comes out. You don't have dragons in Nogero?
It looks like it would just eat anyone who got in its way.
That's what I'm counting on.
Go, before that beast kills you. Come aboard, friends. We sail in a few minutes.
Hello, Jason. I have been expecting you.
Jason turned and bolted into the bushes, Naja buzzing ahead of him. Instead of finding a path of escape, though, Jason ran straight into another robot, this one with a rusty toaster for a head, and bounced off the robot's chest into a thicket of ferns. Heart pounding, he scrambled back to his feet, dodging around dozens of other robots that were streaming into the area. "Go!" he yelled at Naja. He ran as fast as he could, and he heard the robots thumping through the bushes behind him like a rampaging herd. Fortunately, Jason knew these woods well, so even in the dark, he knew where to hop a fallen log or where to navigate around a gully. Concentrating on Naja's eyes, he managed to avoid falling, and then the ground dropped down a mossy hill. They entered a clearing, and at the far end, before another wall of pines, there seemed to be a dark wall. Suddenly, he knew where they were, at a cave he and Emily used to play in long ago, back when Jason still did things like play in caves.
It's the portal,
Naja said, flying into the cave. His eyes briefly showed the jagged edges of the entrance. Jason knew that the cave ended in a dead end not far from the opening, so if Naja was wrong, it was the worst place to go. The soft dirt outside the cave gave way to damp rocks. The air cooled. He slipped, scraping his hands on the rock, but jumped quickly to his feet. The darkness swallowed him completely, a darkness that smelled of mildew and moss. He fished his flashlight out of his backpack, pointing its beam into the cave. The walls of shiny black rock were only a dozen feet wide and narrowing quickly. Up ahead, the cave bent to the left. Jason knew it ended there. While he watched, other lights flashed on the walls ahead of him, green lights, red lights, and other colors as well. He heard the robots behind him beeping and whirring.
Hurry!
Naja cried. Without turning back, Jason ran toward Naja, his feet slipping on rocky, uneven ground. He rounded the corner and saw Naja a short distance away, in front of a solid wall of rock. It was a dead end, after all. But he no more thought this than Naja stuck out his hand and put it directly into the wall. The rock rippled like water around Naja's arm.
It's shrinking,
he said.
Come!
The clanging of the robots was so much louder than outside. When Jason reached Naja, he turned and saw the robots rounding the corner. "Go!" Jason said. Like a swimmer diving into a pool, Naja plunged into the rock. The shimmering grew, encompassing Naja's body. His wings stuck out farther than the rest of him, though, and they banged against something solid. This gave Jason an idea of how large the opening was, and he panicked. He wondered what would happen if he got stuck as it was shrinking.
Located human,
one of the robots said, reaching for him with a hand that looked like a crab's pincer. Knowing he was out of options, Jason removed his backpack and shoved it through the opening, then held his breath and leapt inside. For just a second, his fingers touched what felt like solid rock, then the rock gave way like water, but thicker and soupier than water, and he went right inside. It was so cold, all his muscles tightened. Fortunately, the feeling lasted only a second, and he was on the other side, looking into Naja's panicked face. He had emerged in another cave, this one with red rock walls, and strangely, enough light for him to see, a faint red light. His head was through, both arms, one leg, and then something cold grabbed his other ankle. It felt like a metal clamp.
Naja!
He shouted, placing both arms wide and pushing against rock. Naja grabbed the collar of his jacket and pulled, but the little feather couldn't match the robot's strength. Jason slid back farther. Worse, he felt the portal thickening around him, starting to feel more like jelly than water. He was struck with the terrible feeling that the portal was about to snap him in half. Then, his fear suddenly melted away, and he felt something reaching a boil inside him. It was the same way he felt on the beach with Brad. He screamed and kicked his captured leg. Finally, his ankle slipped free, and with one last massive push, he burst through the portal with a loud pop.
You did it!
Naja said. Gasping for breath, Jason scrambled from the opening. He was still afraid that one of the robots would come through at any moment. After a few seconds, he lifted his hand and touched the wall. Solid rock. He breathed a sigh. This comfort did not last long, however, because it was quickly replaced by a cold, sinking feeling in the pit of his stomach as he realized something else. He could no longer go back.